silence is often misunderstood. In a world where we are constantly urged to express, to declare our intentions, and to respond to every word spoken against us, silence has become a rare and underestimated weapon. Yet, to those who truly understand the teachings of Stoicism, silence is not a sign of weakness, but the embodiment of strength and mastery over oneself. The ancient Stoics, from Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, knew the power of holding one's tongue. They recognized that silence is often the greatest response, not just to others, but to the inner turbulence within ourselves. As we explore this philosophy, I urge you to stay with me until the end, for what we will uncover about silence may change the way you approach life itself. By the end, you'll understand why the greatest victories come not from words, but from the absence of them. And if you resonate with these ancient teachings, don't forget to subscribe and join us on this path of inner mastery. The power of silence, a shield against ego and vanity. The art of silence begins with understanding its power. Epictetus, the Stoic slave turned philosopher, taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This, however, was not merely a call for better communication. It was an instruction on how to wield silence like a sword, how to use it as both a shield and a weapon. When we choose silence in moments of conflict or temptation, we strip the situation of vanity. Ego thrives in noise. The need to prove oneself, to retaliate, to reveal one's plans, and to assert control is all born from ego. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In silence, you embody the wisdom of action without the need for validation through words. Imagine a situation where you are challenged, perhaps insulted or provoked. The instinctive response is to strike back, to defend your name, your honor. But the Stoic understands that such responses are fleeting, emotional, and ultimately hollow. In silence, you refuse to feed the fire of ego. You watch as the provocations fade, as your adversary's words lose power. In that moment, you are not just winning the battle, you are transcending it, destroying the ego. The role of silence in overcoming the self. It is not just the ego of others we dismantle with silence. More critically, we confront and dissolve our own ego. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic thinkers, noted that, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This is where silence becomes our teacher. When we refrain from speaking, we resist the urge to seek approval or assert dominance. We learn to live without the applause of the crowd. Consider this. How often have you felt the urge to announce your next big plan, to share your ambitions with the world? How many times have you regretted revealing your hand too soon? In silence, there is power. When we keep our plans to ourselves, we shield them from the premature criticism and expectations of others. We act, not to impress or validate, but because it aligns with our inner principles. In a world obsessed with recognition, silence becomes a tool of liberation. We free ourselves from the chains of approval, from the tyranny of likes and validation. The less we reveal, the more we focus on what truly matters, our own growth, our own mastery. Silence as a strategy, learning when not to reveal your plans. Revealing one's plans is often mistaken for progress, but the Stoics understood the value of secrecy. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the vast Roman Empire, could have declared his intentions with every move, but he often chose silence. Why? Because silence allows for strategy. In silence, we protect our endeavors from the meddling of others. Consider the case of Diogenes. a philosopher who embodied Stoic principles even before the school was formally established. Diogenes understood that speaking too much about one's ambitions only opens the door for others to interfere, criticize, or attempt to thwart them. He chose to live simply and speak little, focusing his energy on action rather than words. This is a lesson we too can apply. By holding back, by keeping our goals hidden, we ensure that our actions speak for us. When we stay silent about our ambitions, we give ourselves the space to grow without external pressure. Our progress becomes a quiet, unstoppable force, like the roots of a tree growing deep into the earth, unseen but unshakable. The subtle destruction of others' egos. Through silence. One of the most potent uses of silence is its ability to disarm and even destroy the egos of others. When faced with someone who thrives on conflict or dominance, our silence is their undoing. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In the same way, the person who craves attention, who feeds on drama, is left impoverished when we deny them the reaction they seek. In moments of confrontation, our silence becomes a mirror, reflecting the emptiness of the other person's words. They shout into the void, but the void does not answer back. They expect a fight, but we give them nothing. Slowly, their ego crumbles under the weight of its own futility. This is not to say that silence is always the right response. There are moments when action must be taken, when words must be spoken. But the Stoic knows when silence will do more than any word could. In those moments, our silence becomes a tool of transformation, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Silence and inner peace. Cultivating serenity in the noise of life. At the core of Stoic philosophy is the pursuit of inner peace, and silence is one of the greatest keys to achieving it. When we speak less, we listen more, not just to others, but to ourselves. In the quiet, we hear the whispers of our own thoughts, the subtle currents of our emotions. We become more attuned to our inner world, and in that attunement, we find serenity. Epictetus reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. To be master of oneself is to be in control of one's reactions, emotions, and impulses. Silence gives us the space to cultivate that mastery. When we choose not to respond, we choose to remain in control. We are not swayed by the words or actions of others, but remain anchored in our own principles. The timeless power of silence. In silence, there is wisdom. In silence, there is strength. The Stoics knew this, and their teachings continue to resonate through the ages. As we navigate the complexities of life, let us remember the value of holding our tongue, of keeping our plans close, and of using silence as a tool of both defense and growth. I invite you to take these lessons to heart. In your next moment of conflict, choose silence. In your next moment of doubt, choose silence. And in your pursuit of greatness, let your actions, not your words, be the loudest voice in the room. Stay until the end. And if these words have resonated with you, subscribe to our journey of Stoic mastery. The path ahead is not easy, but with silence as our guide, it is one of great power.